Hey guys, welcome back to the Girlfriends and Goals podcast. My name is Samaria, and I'm joined by my best friend and co host.
Miosha.
And today we're reviewing Love is Blind Season 9, episodes 7 through 9,
Hmm.
before the other two episodes drop tomorrow. So if you're watching this season, if you have stuff to say, meet us in the comments. We'll also make
Hmm.
sure you like this video and please subscribe to our channel. I think we're like getting close to 8,000.
We should almost be there.
Okay. Well, y'all, if you're watching this video and we're not at 8,000 yet, go ahead and help some sisters out. And if we
Yeah,
have hit 8,000 and you're watching this, still subscribe, please.
exactly.
Okay, but let's get into episode 7. So it starts off with Madison and Joe, and
Hmm.
they are in this like big, big argument. And I don't know, she was really mad that he went when he went back to bed instead of coming to check on her. And I mean, I know the tricks. Like, you of course you want your person to come and check on you. Like when you're throwing a fit, your only mission on earth at that time when I'm throwing a fit is to come and see about my fit.
Yeah, but that logic only works if you're dealing with two sober people, and we know they've both been drinking some. Her
Yeah.
maybe not as much. Him, I think a lot more. Maybe something else is going on there. We don't know,
Hmm.
but the excessive crying. At this point, I'm Madison. I'm over it. I'm very close to being over you, but in this episode, I'm not quite over you just yet,
Oh, okay,
as of
okay.
episode 7. But yeah,
No, this is episode 7.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I said that right. As of episode 7, I'm not over her yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
but
thought
8
you
and
said
9.
I thought you said that's in episode 7. I'm like, so later on in this same episode?
No, 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 no. As of this scene, I'm getting there. But just to wrap them up, the next morning, they kiss and make up. And all is well. They both apologize, and
In
basically for not giving each other what they needed in the moment.
the
She
moment.
wanted more attention. He needed more sleep, water, and space.
Yeah, and you say it only works with two sober people. I also think it only works in a dynamic where both people love each other. And
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
that part too.
yeah, I think Joe just isn't interested in her. And she was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Like, girl, but you're not making it better for yourself by doing all this crying. And I put, she loves to announce the number of times she said something. I said this like 4 times. I asked you this like 7 times. I'm like, girl, the number doesn't matter.
And I will say too, Joe is giving her a false sense of security because in that conversation they have the next morning, out on the balcony, he says, "Oh yeah, and I really want to marry you." So he's also feeding into it as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I don't have much about Allie and Anton before they get home, so
I
I'm
have
just
nothing on them.
uh, I mean, it feels like with some of the edits they're either trying to paint her this way or she actually is. But
Mm.
as like more materialistic and things
Mhm.
like that. So yeah, that's really it. We'll see if I have something later on. All right, Jordan and Megan.
Yes. So another dynamic where she's in her feelings about the lack of attention at the couple's party. Well, one, she felt like he was just being annoying and doing too much.
And she's not wrong.
Right. I think the way it could have been communicated better, but she's in her feelings. What did she say? Oh, you didn't you weren't there for me. Well, in what way was he supposed to be there for you? She talks
That's
about
so
wanting to be
funny.
this power couple at a couple's get together on the beach in Mexico. Maybe she was talking about presenting a certain way. And then he goes down the list of, okay, well, who are you realistically comparing us to? There's no power couple in the mix.
She sees well, and I don't want to say she sees herself as, but she is a powerful woman. So maybe she wants the Jay-Z to her Beyonce. I don't know. Is that a powerful
Yeah,
or the
but
Barack to her
he was
Michelle?
jokey jokey in the pods, and you loved it.
Yeah.
That it was the good contrast for you. Granted, it was the pods, but you said you would always walk away feeling lighter and you had so much fun, and so
Hmm.
I don't
Hmm.
know.
I think. if that's what you want, I don't know that you picked the right person, right? So yeah, I also didn't know what she meant about I wanted you to be there for me, but maybe just more present with her and
Give her more attention instead of being a part of this bromance you have going on.
which I kind of get, but I think we talked about this before. They're coming out of this bromance situation, and so maybe they're just happy to see their friends again.
Hmm.
I I get that there needs to be some type of balance between hanging out with your bros and soaking up time with your person. I also
Hmm.
think from the women's perspective, like they should just be mindful that okay, they've been around each other for a little bit. They want to hang out and I don't know, blow off some steam or whatever.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
KB and Edmund. So this is all before the next
Mm,
meetup. Okay.
yes.
KB and Edmund. He apologized for being
Mhm.
selfish and trying to force the physical issue. Calls her beautiful. And I guess, did she say that she felt like he matches her?
Yeah, she said, well, one, she said, I'm still annoyed. So just
Hmm.
know my energy is off.
Hmm.
I appreciated her for communicating that because sometimes people just assume like you could just flip a switch and you're supposed to be over it in the moment. No,
No,
we're
I'm
not
still
robots.
mad.
Yeah, I'm still mad. But she says she feels like the person she talked to in the pods is who she's talking to. And so for me, I'm thinking, well, all this grief I think that Edmund is getting, I don't think that he should be getting as much because if he's acting the same way, then this is who she wanted.
Okay. He is doing a lot though.
Oh, I agree. He's doing a lot, but he was also doing a lot in the pods.
But
So
when someone's doing a lot and you can't see them,
actually, I don't know. I would never put myself in this situation. I need to see everything.
okay, fair. But she said that one of her goals is to try to get over things more quickly, which
Yeah.
I think is a good goal to have if you're trying to be in a marriage. Like you cannot hold on to everything.
And also, the reason why I called that out is I don't think that Edmund has flipped the script on
No,
her.
no, no.
I think what she saw is what she's getting is what she saw before and was okay with it. And she said it in a as though it was a positive thing. So,
Hmm. I think you can be okay with something in the pods, but then when you're hit with the reality that this is
mm,
possibly daily life, I think it can be overwhelming.
okay.
All right, Nick and Annie. So
Okay.
I think this was where I started to get a sense that Annie was just like no matter what into him. It started to feel like for our married at first sight folks, but like MM and Ikichi. That's how it started to feel for me here. Granted, Nick is showing more interest in her than Ikichi showed MM.
Hmm.
But that's the vibe that I started to get here. And she wasn't the only one. I'll mention the other
Hmm.
person later. But, she says, oh, my family's going to love you. My dad sent me out
Hmm.
here and was hoping that I would find somebody who was more manly. And he's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, is that what
Yeah.
you want? Is that what he wants? What's going on? And then he said his mom will just be excited that he has a girlfriend, which some of these comments make me want to ask follow up questions.
Yeah. So, when was your last relationship? I feel like did we get much history on his dating past, if at all? Or maybe they just
Uh,
didn't show it?
I don't know. Let me go back to episode 1, but you
Mm,
can share your thoughts while I
yeah.
try to
And
find it.
so, once again, Annie in that conversation reiterates, well, one, she says that they both want kids and they want kids soon. And then she
Mhm.
says, again, I'm nervous about nothing. And so, for me, it's giving. I just want a husband, a man, a bit of desperation there, just maybe plug and play. I just
That's a
want to
lot
get
of
this done so I can move forward with my life.
yeah.
Um, and
I don't have
so,
anything on his previous relationships. No.
Yeah. So it sounds as though his family would just be happy to have him to have someone.
Yeah. They
Mm-hmm.
talked about her living in the city and him living in the mountains. And I
Mm-hmm.
said it just didn't seem at the end of this conversation like they were on the same page about that. She mentioned that she's concerned about him feeling like he's priority because she works a lot. And he said, well, keep in mind, I
Yeah.
also work a lot. I don't think I don't know, if we've talked about that, but I also work a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, their schedules might be a thing, or it might work out because she's working a lot, he's working a lot.
Yeah, and I wonder about lifestyle too, because he did say that he's willing to move to the city to be with her. But then my thought is, if you're working a lot, he's working a lot, he's making this sacrifice to be in the city, like, are y'all? I think part of the appeal of him being in the city is that you're there as
Yeah.
well. And so I see this as a bit of a lifestyle clash as well.
Okay, okay, fair. All right, so then they go to meet up with the rest of the couples.
Hmm.
And here I said, why is Madison doing PR for her intimate life? What do we know what job she works? Is she in communications and public relations or something?
I don't know, but
Let me
girl,
check.
you're being filmed. So all of this putting on for the women, oh, we made up and it was so great. I don't understand it because everyone is going to watch the footage back. This is not
Everyone.
going great. And I think it makes it worse that we can all see he's not into her.
She's a usability designer, so no, not in PR at all.
Mm.
You might have missed her calling because she seems very, very interested in public relations. Anyway, yeah, I was wondering if it's maybe a self-esteem issue. So, like,
Mm.
maybe she feels like that's all she has to offer, or that's the one thing that they have to offer as a couple that she can use to have a leg up, which it shouldn't be a competition, but it just feels like there's more to that. And I wondered if it was self esteem related.
I think so because I think as we see later, he's definitely not all in.
Hmm.
She's all in and I think willing to make it work, like you, Mim.
Hmm.
But the sex seems to be the positive light. And this is where I'm just like, Joe, you know this girl is into you. Why?
I just don't get why she feels the need to bring it up with the other women so much. And I think that's what's confusing me. I'm like,
It's the only
okay.
positive thing that they have going on. Imagine you're talking in a group of people talking about the things they love about their partner and how their relationship is going.
Okay.
So,
So not right now, but later on, I was like, is Joe putting her up to this? Like, is he wanting to seem like that guy? And so he's like, oh, make sure you know, it's a horrible thing to think, but because she just always brings it up, it's like nobody. Madison, oh yeah, he's amazing in bed. He's so good at bed. Girl,
listen, I'm usually the one reaching, girl. You got me beat.
okay, but I knew I was reaching with that one. I'm just saying, like, something's going on there. And I didn't feel that way in this episode, but it's like later on, just the consistency of her bringing it. I'm like,
Mm. And the previous episodes, yeah.
what is up? So, yeah. Anyway.
And then we have the guys talking about how well things are going. Well, Nick talks about how things are going well for him. Jordan shares how he doesn't appreciate how Megan handled the conversation with her being annoyed. He said he doesn't mind her saying it. He just didn't like the way she shared her feelings. Um, I don't know. They're still so new.
How did she share her feelings, though? Because I feel like she said, you're really annoying me right now. And
I feel like she said it with a bit more umph than that.
really, okay. I thought she
Yeah,
said it
I
with a
think
smile on her
"Oh,
face.
you're
Like,
annoying me."
you know, you know how you watch somebody else like make a comment that you also think, and then they
Hmm.
get dragged for it, so you didn't have to even say anything. That's how I feel watching Megan because if I'm irritated, I'll probably handle it just like that. I'll be like, I'm sorry, you're irritating me. Like, so like, okay, well,
Yeah, I don't know. I think because they're new,
yeah.
people have different communication styles. If I were a few days into a relationship, even if a person was
Yeah.
annoying me, I wouldn't say it in public. I would probably wait or be like, "Hey, let's can you walk with me to the restroom?" Something like that. But I wouldn't approach it the way she did being 3, 4 days in.
No, that's fair. Okay. Okay, so maybe I can't relate as much.
Yeah, but
I would
once you
say
get
that's like
comfortable, it's like if you don't get out of
like
like
my best friends. Like I would do that to y'all. Like, okay, I guess we just decided to be annoying today. Cool.
Uh, but then Jordan shares that he's not clingy and essentially hopes that she's not clingy either. They have
Mhm.
opposite work schedules, so it sounds as though they'll only see each other on the weekends, and that she owns his home in LA and is transitioning back to Denver, or
Yeah.
to Denver to buy a house there.
I don't
And
think we knew
so,
that before, right? That was new for us as viewers.
I
Okay,
thought she
because
already was established
really.
there. Yeah. And if
Hmm.
she's a boss, I don't know that she would be clingy. However, because she needed him so much at that previous couple's party, maybe she is clingy. Who
Not
knows?
needed him so much. I am weak. Okay, so the boys were talking about that, and then I feel
Mhm.
like the girls were trying to get some information from like Allie,
Mhm.
about, oh, are you guys arguing? Are you guys this? And in that conversation, Madison was like, well, I'd rather what we have, like where we're front loading the conflict. And so later on, it might be smooth sailing. I'm like, okay, sis, that's what you want to think. KB talked about, now that she's engaged and she sees this man as someone she wants to grow with, she has to shift her mind. Like she can't be upset
Mhm.
for ever about certain
Mhm.
things. She has to just be mindful. And I appreciate that. I do think KB is like trying in this process. I
Mhm.
think she, at least at this point, is aware of her shortcomings and trying to make sure that she corrects herself. So
Mhm.
I like her. I just question if she's settling with her choice. And
Mhm.
I don't like the I'm not
Choice
like
that.
other women type of, yeah, that
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Actually, do I like her? Um,
So,
I like parts of her. I like the self-reflective part, but she does need to reflect about being in competition with other women.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to jump to actually no. We missed the conversation on the last night with Nick and Annie after the couples last get together on vacation where they're laying in
Oh yeah.
bed, her hair's all disheveled.
She's girl, her mm-mm. Okay.
Not gonna
She,
do it.
no. um she's packing and she says she's tired.
Hmm.
Already a recipe for disaster, I feel.
But it doesn't take much.
It took nothing. It
Yeah,
took
he's just sharing how he's looking forward to getting to know her in the real world. A very similar conversation that almost every couple has at the end of these vacations. Okay, we've lived it up in Mexico. Now we're transitioning back to real life. We get our phones
Mhm.
back. Um, and I think she was looking for more reassurance that he's still all in. And she was taking it as though he's on the fence.
Yeah, and I think she ought to appreciate someone who wants to take time to get to know her. And I think she should also be taking time to get to know him. I don't think there was anything wrong with what he said. I don't know if there's like an insecurity there about that.
She wants him. What did she say? Well, you know where I stand, but I don't know where you stand. So I think she wants him to be on the same energy of there's no issues. We're moving ahead. There's nothing that can
We're
go
moving
wrong.
ahead no
There's
matter
no,
what.
yeah, no
Yeah.
matter what. There's no red flags. And he's like, well, Actually, yes, we can probably anticipate some things will come up, but I think for her, imagine everything has been good, you've become
Mhm.
intimate with this person, and now it's like, oh, but there could be things that are wrong. So while
Yeah.
I do think that she had an exaggerated reaction, especially when she starts talking about, well, I don't need you. Okay, girl.
My
I
life won't
think
fall apart if you're not there. I'm like, well, you're an adult, so it shouldn't fall apart if another adult whom you just met decides not to be in your life.
And she knew what she was doing by saying all of that. Well, you're stating the obvious that really doesn't need to be said, but you were
Mhm.
saying it to hurt him. And I think he handled it pretty well just by staying calm. Okay,
And then she tried
girl.
to walk it back a little bit. Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I really want you. I'm not, girl, come on. You can't kid her, Annie. We know what you meant.
It was like, oh, you aren't sure about me? Well, fine. I don't need you then. That's what she said. I'll one up you.
Right. Exactly.
But the
Um,
way he kept it all the way calm, but then
mhm.
gets her all the way together the next
Yeah.
day. But I don't want to jump ahead. Okay.
Yeah, because I was saying I think they really should go to bed because they were not resolving anything staying up that night.
She was looking crazy as I don't know what, laid up in the bed like that.
All right. Joe and Madison, I think we see them before they all leave. And
Did we? Okay.
yeah, she once again brings up, oh, I'm so glad we had our sexy time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't ever hear Joe say anything about there is ever, not with her, not behind her back, not in front of the cameras, ever. I don't hear him talk about it, period. And so it's just odd. I just wanted to make note that she brought it up again.
Yes, she
Okay.
did bring it up again. You're right.
All right.
Okay.
Now we get back to Denver.
Mm-hmm. All I have something on is Meg and Jordan.
Okay, I had something on because they transitioned from KB and Edmund to Allie and
Okay.
Anton. So KB
Okay.
and Edmund is like jumping in the cabinets and hiding,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then I think Allie and Anton are like people watching or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And I think that contrast just hit me like they maybe match each other's silliness. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
with KB and Edmund, it's like only one of them is on that wavelength.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why it looks so odd to viewers.
Mm.
But yeah, anyway, yeah,
Okay.
Jordan and Megan.
Yeah, so they're at the apartment. He's talking about giving her a little insight of what his apartment looks like. She says she's excited to go house hunting. Then she starts to get emotional about meeting Luca's mom. And she starts crying and he's trying to reassure her, but I think he also says like, well, there will be probably other big things, but this isn't going to be like just meeting them isn't going to be as big of a deal as I think as you think that it will be.
Mhm.
She then starts to talk about her love language as far as like giving gifts and she not wanting him to feel away if she wants to buy Luca gifts. And I said, hold up. Whoa there.
A way will be felt.
Now, I thought love languages work by you appealing to that person's love language, not what your love language is.
Okay. I think it's both. Like, so
Okay.
you have to know, like, I would have to know how you loved, right? So if
Okay.
you're like giving me a bunch of gifts, I know you're trying to love me, but I would have to
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I appreciate the gifts. What I would appreciate more is like quality time. But then if I wanted to do something to make you feel love, then I would
Mm-hmm.
probably get you gifts because that seems like your thing. So, like, you
Okay.
have to be aware of all of it, but you're right. Like, the goal is to love somebody how they want to be loved.
And he's a child. And so what do you mean by, oh, I don't want you to feel away if I want to buy him gifts? You shouldn't feel any you're the new person stepping into the equation and I just can't imagine having a whole child and someone even if your heart is in all of the right places telling me what they're going to do or for my child.
I think in the conversation she was saying how she was nervous about, doing things for him or stepping in ways that they didn't need her or want her to. And
Mhm.
I said, it's gonna come up. Like, it's inevitable. You're a new
Mhm.
person in these people's dynamic. Like, they're co-parenting. It seems like they have a very healthy co-parenting relationship. You're naturally going to have to learn and you're going to make
Mhm.
mistakes. So this
And he
fear
might just tell you, "Don't
yeah,
do that."
he'll have to at some point, and you'll just have it's just a part of the dynamic.
Yeah.
So
And he tells her, like with many kids, it doesn't always matter how much you spend. They enjoy the time that you spend with them. And there will be a learning curve for her because I don't know if she has other small children in her space that she's, used to spending time with. But I don't know.
and she's just wealthier, so even if it is just a toy, it might be an expensive toy that the parents wouldn't have purchased for him. It might be
Mhm.
out of their means. Yeah,
Mhm.
like it's gonna happen. So all the nerves she's feeling, I think, are valid because these are
Mhm.
very real situations that they'll find themselves in if they get married.
And yeah, she's pushing to meet Luca sooner rather than later. So,
Yeah, which I understand, but I'll get to that in maybe
okay.
episode 8. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so episode 8, we start with Nick and Danny.
Mhm.
And she's talking about how she loves Nick and spending time with him is so exciting and living together with him just excites her. They talked about the argument. I wrote down, okay, Annie, you gotta chill. Because she's talking about, I've never loved anybody the way I love him. It's like, Savannah, slow down. It's been 10 days.
And Nick let her know it's not gonna happen again. He was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen again.
So they go to the mountains this episode to see his place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to his house. Yeah.
I liked his place.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah, I could see the appeal of being out there. He really loves it. Um,
He said he's
I,
not
ha-
giving it up.
yeah, it makes sense. He does say that he's willing to make adjustments for her in the city, and she says that she doesn't want her to feel like she's the one that's pushing him to choose. I just wonder, like, what does that look like realistically for them long term? She has a business that's a salon
Hmm.
in a fixed location. It may not be as easy for her, even years later, to transition that to a whole new location.
Yeah.
So, and what do they say? It's like an hour and a half away.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. It's not even a matter of different sides of town. It's pretty much out of town.
There are
So,
sacrifices he's like if they are getting married, there are sacrifices he's gonna have to make, and you just gotta let him make them. Like you can't. Oh, I don't want to be the reason why. Well, you are the reason why. He said he's happy in the mountains. If it weren't for you, he wouldn't be moving. It's okay to be the reason why someone makes a compromise.
and Annie, I don't know. Annie's kind of desperate and delusional to a point. She's not so delusional that she giving up her hair salon.
Right.
She never loved anybody like Nick before. Oh, you haven't. Show us.
Move to the mountains.
Move to the mountains. Not gonna do it. Okay.
No. But I think it seems like he's willing to compromise with her so they can maybe figure it out. And, she didn't respond when he said, I mean, you're not asking me to give up the house. She didn't say anything, and I noticed.
But
But mhm.
also, so is understanding and calm as that Nick is being. I, are we getting the real Nick now? I think with the meeting with the parents, I think we partially could be in his demeanor and the way that he's used to handling things.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Is there just this wall up? that his parents have gotten. She's getting like a certain version of him. I don't know. He's yes to a lot of things.
Maybe he's like managing her emotions, managing
Yeah.
his image. Maybe.
Mm.
I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say, but it'll come to me.
Okay.
All right. So then we go to Joe and Madison. I said, well, Joe is still there, which
Mm.
I was surprised by. And they said that her family was supposed to be coming over. And
Mm-hmm.
this starts an argument because she's like, oh, my family is stoked to meet you. I've never introduced anybody to my family. And I think
Mm-hmm.
he comes out with, okay, does this not scare you at all? Like the fact that you've never brought anybody to your family and I'm the one. To me, that is always a telltale sign of someone's lack of commitment to you. Like when you're about to make a major step with them and they're like, oh, you sure about making that major step with me? So obviously, Madison is involved, so that she can't
Mm-hmm.
see it as clearly. But for me, that's a sign where someone.
Oh, well, she doesn't see it as clearly, but her anxious, erratic kind of emotions show
Yeah.
it because she starts to freak out. What do you mean, Joe? I'm sorry. As much as Joe is who he is, the way she responds, I just cannot.
I'm
I
sorry I'm so into you. I'm sorry I'm not negative witch. Girl, what?
just even in the way she talks, her cadence and tone of voice, I would just have to remove myself from the situation. I feel
No.
like there's a lot of tears and just unhinged, anxious energy amongst the women this season.
I could see why he was like, he was so shocked. Like, wait, I'm not saying, well, I'm sorry, I like you. I said, what, I wasn't saying, because I'm involved too. No, well, maybe I should be more negative. Maybe that's what I need to do. Girl, what? How do we
And
get
she
here?
constantly cuts him off, even though he's not
Um,
saying much or
Much.
anything that we agree with. That's not the point. It kind
Oh,
of,
man.
in this scenario, I'm overwhelmed by her response that I don't even
Hmm.
really care about Joe. Just,
It was a lot. And then like why are you shocked that a stranger has reservations about you in this process? Like you knew what you were signing up for. You knew like he can say no at the he can tell you everything you want to hear from here until the wedding day and still say no.
and for
Go
her,
ahead.
she's like, oh, well, why did you propose? It's like, girl, you're on Love is Blind. This is not, she's
This is part of the
treating, her
process.
emotions are treating this as though it's a normal engagement process,
Yeah.
as though, like, oh, we dated for a year, then you proposed, you asked my dad,
Mhm.
you went through the whole thing. No,
Yeah.
girl, you just met this man.
Last
So,
week. Last week. So yeah, and
and
her taking off her ring. I said, girl,
you just did him a favor.
let's just say y'all end up married. You gotta save that move for like can't
That's a draw forward. That's a reverse.
just be giving that out.
Listen.
Oh man.
And
Anyway,
he
we're just
and
playing.
then as you said earlier, it only works with two people that care. And so knowing Joe, he's probably like, oh, maybe I get to leave this experiment early.
I do feel like this was an eye opener for him that okay, I can't second guess with her anything. Like
Mhm.
I need to keep these thoughts in my head and when I'm with her proceed as if everything is normal because after this he seems to fall in line and I don't know how genuine that is.
It's not genuine,
Yeah.
but her energy, her emotions are just so quickly all over the place.
It
Am
escalated
I being
so
in
fast.
am I being insensitive between her, excuse me, Madison? I mean, I'm sorry, Meg.
Mhm.
I don't know. There's just been a lot of tears, and I'm not understanding it.
Yeah, for me, her and Annie are very, very comparable.
Oh yeah, Annie too. Yeah.
Very much so, yeah. So the next time we see them, Joe comes back and he's apologetic to Madison. Yeah, she lies and says, "Yeah, I want to hear your doubts and fear." No, you don't. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. Don't lie. You don't want to hear it. Um, and then she puts her ring back on. Yay.
That didn't take much.
Because it didn't take much for it to come off. Like, so, yeah. Anyway, I felt like Joe was aware that he's on TV and how he comes off can make or break him. Like now I see he's already making content
Mhm.
about the show. Yeah, he's like been reading
Okay.
comments about how people are receiving him online and stuff like that. So I think he was just very aware that he's on TV.
I
And
mean, the way he was like, "What? We're getting married in 3 weeks? What?"
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and I don't know, when he apologized, which I was like, she probably made him apologize on screen. I don't know. He probably apologized off screen, and she was like, you got to bring it on screen because she cares a lot about appearances. And I don't know what they were referring to. And she says, actually, I'm a big self help book person. Oh, that was when they went to his apartment. But she said she's a big self help book person. And I say, sometimes not just self help, like you should get some help from other people. And I
Mhm.
hope no matter how this process turns out for her that she talks to somebody. She
Oh yeah,
talks
that
to the
was
lady.
yeah, I think that was in episode 9 where they go to his apartment.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah. But let's
Okay.
talk about Allie and Anton, and then we'll move to episode 9.
I thought this was episode because they meet his family in this episode.
That was episode 9.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they meet his mom, dad, the sisters at the restaurant. That was episode 9, I thought.
Okay, I
Or
thought it
maybe
was
I'm
like,
wrong. I don't know.
well, girl, we could one of us could be, and now we don't know which one it is. But
Okay.
I thought episode 9 was mostly their meetup with everybody.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Continue.
yeah. So either in episode 8 or 9, they meet
Yeah.
Joe's parents, and she's on. She's giving them the right answers.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
she is like professional spokesperson. And so they say that they say that they liked her?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I think they asked what made you choose Joe, and then she said they just clicked on everything. I don't
Yeah.
know. These families, they
Don't be asking the questions.
don't be asking the
Put me
question.
on there.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody adopt me into their family, and I'll ask the
Yeah.
question. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
did say, did it alarm you that he had been engaged before?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah. And
But
she
yeah,
says
she
no.
said no, but she has a career, a house, and she's ready to share it with somebody.
Hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, that's them. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, she claimed they were so intentional.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but to me, nothing about Joe and the pods gave Ready for Marriage either. I don't know. Maybe we didn't see as much of them, but
We came in on them probably on the second day or something. Like, it's
true.
just the conversations weren't really deep in the pods this season. Maybe with the
The deepest we
exception.
saw was the conversation about her eyesight condition
Yeah,
and
and that
his
was it early
acceptance of it,
on.
and that was most of what I remember.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
So
Okay. Who did you want to move on next? Allie and Anton or Jordan and Megan?
let's do Allie and Anton.
Okay. This was
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
So they start talking about like how they're getting back into their normal life with their work schedule. They both work overnight shifts.
Hmm.
And so we see them at home the morning after both of them have come back from work.
Hmm.
Uh, she,
Is
she
this where she shares that she's going to be going back to school full time?
hmm
Yeah, which I think is a pretty big deal
Oh, yeah.
at the beginning of a relationship.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Uh,
Also, I wonder because a lot of clips that they show of her show her not wanting to continue to work. I also wonder if that's just them highlighting this a little more than they
Mhm.
need to, because from everything we've seen about her, she seems pretty serious about her career. And she's in a very good career. Like, she's not this ditzy girl. Like, this, she's a whole nurse, um, who has like had enough experience. Now she's traveling
Mhm.
with, anyway, so
Well, I think it's a mixture of two things. They could be highlighting it, but she's also saying things like, "Oh, when I'm in school, that's what I'm focused on, not anything else." She refers back to, I guess, when she was in school the first time, how her mom took care of everything. Girl, that's your mother,
you're not in
not
Kansas anymore.
yeah. And then, she asked, "Do you think you could support the both of us?" He says, "Yes." She sprinkles on the
Can I still
Botox.
have both that? She will sprinkle something into a conversation.
And with her, she uses her little baby voice. Maybe I need to start talking to people like that. Like, "Oh, Samaria, would you be able to?" Would it work?
What do you think?
But she thinks that she uses his voice that I guess it maybe lessens the blow or distracts. I don't know, but he says, yeah, about the Botox. I don't know. No, we'll see. But as far as us living off one income, it would be doable. Talk about bank accounts separate together.
I don't feel like we got the end of that conversation. And I feel like that with a few of their conversations, this one and one that happens later on. But we never get the end of this. They bring it up and then they switch to embroidering sweaters.
And I don't know if it's the editing or how she is, but the way she talks to him can feel, I don't know, maybe a bit controlling and snippy. But I don't know if that's how she is or how the editing is.
That's funny that you say that. I got the opposite. Like, when he said what he
Mm,
said about the accounts, I was like, wait, is he controlling and we just haven't seen it? What's going on
mm.
here? Like, why? And I don't know. I just have opinions about that, especially considering how they've met.
And they're older. Yeah.
Like, why? I I don't know that she should just go into a joint account situation immediately.
I
And
think
I don't think he should not be okay with that.
I agree, but then her response of, "Well, I don't want you to know how much I'm spending." Like, I don't know. You expect this person to support your full lifestyle. I think you should obviously keep your own separate accounts, but at the same time, you're like, "I don't want you to know how much I'm spending on certain things." I don't know. I get all over the place with her. I don't know. Like, girl,
I don't get all over the place with her.
maybe she's
I
testing the waters just to
I think she's a
see.
very smart girl. Like,
Mm,
this is me. I think she's a very smart girl. And that's why we see her sprinkling. I think she wants these things, but she's not
mhm.
going to come out all at once and be like, I'm all this, right? I think she's strategically sprinkling things in how she wants. I think to a certain extent, some of it might be a little bit of an act. Like the
Mhm.
whole, oh, I don't want you to know how much I'm spending on this
Mhm.
like throwaway thing. You probably just don't want him having that much control over your finances, which is okay
Mhm.
because you're someone who has a career for herself and has worked hard for what she has, and that's cool. Like, you don't have to minimize it by making it seem like I don't want you to know how much I'm spending at the Gucci
Mhm.
store or
Just
whatever.
say that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think she's all over the place. I think she's smart and she's aware of how she looks. I think she, wants certain things, and
And I when I say all over the place, what I gather about Anton is that he himself is a hard worker.
yeah.
And if you were looking for someone to support your lifestyle, she even mentioned something about having a private chef. And, I don't have a problem with any of those things. I just don't think Love is Blind is
The
the
place to
place to
find
show
them.
up to find a partner and then be so strategic about it. I don't know. It's like, girl, I
Yeah.
saw somebody was like, "Go find you a Jerry Jones," which is like the Cowboys.
I know that much.
Oh, well, you don't watch football.
You're
But
right.
somebody
I
was like,
know.
she needs to go find her another version of Jerry Jones, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyways,
So then, look, we didn't
yeah.
get to the juicy part
Oh
yet.
yeah, we
We're
gotta.
just yapping. So then,
This is
they
the
go,
craziest meetup.
but I was also here for it. They go and meet up with Joe and Melissa, Anton's friends.
Friends.
You know, when I knew this was going downhill, when they were trying to give advice, but then we find out they've been they've been together for 4 months.
A whole 4 months.
I was like, this that was that was immediately when I was like, this is unserious. Something is
And
unserious about this.
you've been together a whole 4 months after moving in after your first date, which was her cooking for you. Get these people off our screens. But keep them because they're spilling all his business.
Girl, this is so funny to me. Okay, so then we find out that, Allie doesn't necessarily like Denver. She's just there as a travel nurse.
And
And
they want to move. That's
back to
another
Florida.
big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We get none of their serious conversations, in my opinion.
None.
Denver
Yeah,
to
no
Florida,
idea.
that's a
Who
huge
are these
move.
people? It's like I've never met them. uh, and then Allie says, this was strike two for me. Allie talks about how, yeah, I'm not really interested in the party lifestyle. And
Mhm.
then you have Anton who's like, shot, 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 shot. Like it was just very clear. It started to unravel here for me. So yeah, that was the first thing was the friends who were together for 4 months. The second thing was how she was saying she's not into the party lifestyle, but he continuously was like pushing towards the shots.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the third thing is
Yeah. Well, before that though, when they go to the restroom, the friend is already like, "Well, I'm shocked you even made it this far." So what that tells me is
freeze
anytime there's a friend or sibling who says that on camera, it never ends well.
ever, ever.
So they go
Yeah,
to the restroom, and what's her name? Melissa can't wait.
Melissa. Like, okay, y'all are still mic'd, even though the cameras might not be in the bathroom with y'all. We're still getting the
Mike, they're not. I don't know. I just wouldn't have spelt all of that. Like I'm glad she knows, but I
mm,
wouldn't have been the person to say all
who.
of that.
Yeah, that's a tough situation.
You just met this woman. Like if it were like if I were in that situation and we're going out to eat with my partner's friend and their girlfriend is there, I don't know her.
Okay, but
Melissa
you
couldn't wait.
you tend to be a my name's Bennett, I ain't in it type of person. Whereas
And it
some of
don't leave
us,
me wrong by minding my own damn business.
no, that is very much you. I uh, it's tough because of how, like, if this were a normal life situation, I would keep my mouth shut, and you'll either find that out or you won't.
Hmm.
I would just, if I felt like I needed to say something, I would call one of my girlfriends and be like, and he's so shady because she thinks he's this and he's not. But because it's such a like fast process, I am glad that Melissa said something
Mm.
because
I think it works in Allie's favor that she's finding out that
yeah,
Joe has maybe presented himself in a certain way that he's not. So Melissa shares that, oh, they enjoy going to strip clubs and Allie is not here for it. She doesn't think that that's where men should be.
yeah,
Since they have only been together for 4 months, then that means that this was pretty recent behavior.
yeah. Because Allie even asked, she's like, "Well, wait, it wasn't he just single 4 months ago? What do you mean? Yeah, that was back when they were single.
We in the same year, girl.
the same season pretty much.
Hmm.
So I'm glad that she asked that question because I was thinking it. Like he wasn't single. He was just yeah, he was just single a few
Yeah.
months ago. So the boys, while the girls are in the bathroom, they start talking, and Joe's like, "Oh yeah, I know Allie's gonna hate me." Yeah, she will, Joe, because she's not into the party lifestyle, and that's clearly what you and Anton are about. Uh,
Hmm.
Allie said that Anton had been blaming things on Joe, like, "Oh, Joe is the party guy, and he's the one who, likes to do X, Y, Z." So
Hmm.
yeah, I think seeing how she sobered up after this, and yeah, it just let me know Allie, even though she's not getting this edit, I think just means business. Like whatever lifestyle she wants, she's serious about it. Maybe she, is able to fund it herself right now, and so that's why she expects somebody else to. But yeah, she's not just the ditzy girl that I think they're trying to portray her to be.
Yeah, I don't see her as ditzy. I don't know. Ditzy's not it. The way she interacts with him, like when they get back to the table and she's like, "Oh, you're in trouble." Like, I'm just not here for her talking to him in the way that she does. Like,
Interesting.
he's an adult. You're not his mother. So, if you're
That's
going
so
to
funny
have
because that's something she said later on.
Yeah, like if you're gonna have a conversation about finding out some information, do that later on. But to do it at the table, I don't know. I wasn't here for it because I
I
wouldn't want someone
couldn't
to do
wait.
that to me.
She was chomping at the bit. She was ready to air it all out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was
Well, if
still
you
in
were gonna
shock.
bring it up. But don't do it like a mother, like, oh, I'm gonna get you when you get home. He's a whole grown man, either gonna say it or say nothing. So also in this Melissa woman, I don't know. Not that their friendship, the Joe and
Anton.
Anton friendship will break up, but I would never want to do anything to insert myself in their friendship business about the things that they've had going on. I don't know. I just would feel like that's not my place
I
to do
think
that.
you're approaching it from a more mature perspective than Anton, Joe, or Melissa would. Like, I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's just not their dynamic, the maturity thing, And
Mm,
so,
yeah. And up until this point too, I think um Anton is a party guy. And I think he's maybe simmered it down being around Allie.
hmm
And even in terms of their lifestyle, I think it comes up later, how often he drinks. And,
yeah,
Netflix is so shady. They always show him with a little drink in his hand. We don't know what's in it, but
yeah.
we could assume maybe it's alcohol or they're wanting you to assume that it's alcohol. So
hmm But we didn't see or hear any of this in Mexico.
he was chilling
Very
from what we
controlled.
saw. So,
Yeah. So it's just
mm,
it's just very interesting how little we've known about them. We called it at the beginning,
hmm,
but
okay.
anyway, I think there's just more to know about both of them than we've known in previous episodes. Which sucks because Anton was one of my favorite guys from the little we knew about him because we didn't know much. Like
I
I
said
grew
I
up in
felt like he
small.
was too smooth from the
I,
beginning.
I didn't even know if he was. Oh yeah, we did say
He was
he was
doing too
calling her
much.
baby too soon. Yeah,
Yeah, he was just
yeah.
landing on way too thick.
And I think on this cast, because the other men are doing so much, he kind of just flies under the radar. So there's
Hmm.
not much to comment, or there hasn't been much to comment on with him. But
Yeah. You
anyway,
want to jump to KB and Edmund?
yeah. Who haven't we talked about though? We haven't talked about Jordan and Megan.
Yeah, Jordan and Megan, we haven't talked about them.
Okay, so KB and Edmund first.
Yeah. So I think this is the morning where his mom is coming to visit. He's cooking breakfast. Okay. And he's excited to see her. Um, the mom comes in and I'll let you go. I'm gonna try to keep it positive.
Why you letting me go? I'll pass.
That's not fair. Okay, so the
No,
mom comes in and she says,
quirky too.
yeah,
Like,
she's very quirky.
yeah.
But she says she's excited to meet her.
Mhm.
And she says, like, oh, what coconut fell on your head to make you choose my son? Because even the mom, I think, is trying to understand what made you two fit.
Mhm.
And so something that KB says where I'm like, girl, she said, at least the way it's edited, well,
Mm.
because of my job,
Mhm. Mhm.
I can really empathize with people coming from certain situations. She shares that she's a social worker. And
Yeah.
so I'm thinking, so KB, you saw this man as someone that you could potentially help and build a life with? Is this the reason why?
It makes sense when you're in it. It probably makes sense when you're in it. I think what people think of, like, because you see this a lot with people who get in relationships with others who have to depend on them, right? They think that's what a relationship should be, and they just see it as, oh, I'm being supportive. Like, you hear married people talk about, oh, this person was so supportive of me in this situation, this person was, and you don't necessarily know how they got to where they are. You just hear that narrative. And so then you feel like, or people feel like,
Mm,
that's what they have to do, and that's what they have to be. That's what it means to be in love, and that's what it means to be married. So I can see it. Like, it makes sense. I don't agree with it, but I can see
mm.
why, like, that made sense to her.
Well, something that I thought in that moment, because of his family history with her being a social worker, I thought, like, I wonder how his mom is going to react to hearing that information.
I thought it was interesting and uncomfortable. Go ahead, sorry.
Because she also jumps into how much work and effort she put into raising her son. So immediately I thought maybe the mom may feel the need to put on more. And I'm not sure that
Hmm.
she's aware, probably not at this point that we know, or KB maybe would know
Yeah.
as much about his past. But I was like, okay, this will be interesting to see how she navigates the rest of this get together
Hmm.
because given their history, they probably have a lot of experience working with counselors and social workers and all of what comes with the system.
Yeah, there were several times during this meetup where I was like, did I hear wrong? Or, like, did somebody exaggerate? Is the mom exaggerating? Or, like, or maybe is she focusing on the moments when they were together? Whereas Edmund has talked about the difficulties of the moments where they weren't together? And so I was a little confused when she kept talking about how much she poured into them, but I can kind of see if her focus has been on when I was with my kids. Why are you looking like that?
I'm
She was very
listening.
convinced of all that she had poured into her kids. So it had me confused. Like, I literally wrote down, wait, weren't they like, didn't we
I,
have
but I think her hearing that KB is a social
those?
worker and how much Edmund has opened up to her. Imagine you're in that situation, whether it was maybe true or not, or whatever you wanted to focus on. You're like, oh, I need to put my best foot forward to maybe set the record straight and so or even out the playing field of maybe of what she's heard because KB spent a good amount of time talking about how vulnerable Edmund had been with her and his mom said, "Oh, well, he just keeps everything locked up. I never know what he's feeling." And so that also exposed that, as much as you may have been pouring into him, maybe a certain level of intimacy was lacking in terms of y'all's closeness and relationship, mother son dynamic.
Yeah, or
So,
maybe he didn't want to talk to her about her shortcomings.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, so she said that she's glad that he has somebody who he can be vulnerable with.
mm-hmm,
Uh yeah, though when we're talking about, okay, is Edmund putting on an act? Is he this? I think this solidified for me that he's not putting on an act. Like
He was
he's
very calm in this meeting.
well,
Like it wasn't all the antics, which he was around his parent. You know, like if you're around your parents, all of us may present a little bit different, but this is the most calm we've seen him, I think, up
you
into this,
know
yeah, up
how
until this
you
point.
might you might be energetic, but when you're in a room with someone who's even more energetic, you kind of feel like, okay, let me
Oh
chill a
yeah.
little bit to balance them out. That's
Hmm.
that's what I felt was going on. Because his mom seemed very similar to
Him.
how we've seen him.
Hmm.
Like just energy wise. Like she's not licking
Hmm.
the floor or jumping around, but
Hmm.
like upbeat energy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, even I've heard about how even as how we present as adults can be heavily influenced around like the energy or even placement in terms of the family dynamic in the
Mhm.
home that you grew up in and how we carry some of that into adulthood. And so yeah.
I don't know. It was really
So
interesting.
yeah.
I will say the mom said a couple of things. One was, I just feel Edmund like a baby's head in my way. I said, God, please no, not Calabria. No, no, no. Not in this situation. And then the second thing was she was talking about her daughters in law
Hmm.
and
This is
how
when
yeah, they
Calabria leaves and then comes back in.
yeah, yeah, they all rat me out to my sons. And Calabria was a little too quick, in my opinion, to be like, he don't have to know everything we talk about. Calabria, if she has four daughters in law before you and they all feel the need to rat her out, maybe get in there and see what is she saying to them? What is she doing that has all four of them?
They all lying.
She's so hell bent on not being like other women. It's like
But that was music to her ears. I don't even think she heard when the mom said, "Oh yeah, she looked like she know how to talk ish to me, like she could hold her own." Hold up. What? Why would you ever want to be talking ish or holding your own with your mother-in-law? My assumption is that maybe the other sons probably don't want their wives going toe to toe with their own mother. Calabria, are you really gonna fall for this and be the pick me
she's like,
daughter-in-law?
listen, listen. Like, no, you don't want to be. There are certain situations where you want to stand out and be unique. This is not one of them. I can already tell you
She told her everything she needed to probably know. And it
everything.
was very manipulative too, in my opinion, to say that so early on, so soon.
You just
It
met
was to
me
essentially get her on her side
outside.
or to get her in line to this is how I want the relationship dynamic to be before she's even getting given a chance to really even get to know her. So
Yep.
it screams manipulation to me. And Calabria was just going along, right? Oh yeah, he don't got to know everything.
No, I'm telling. I'm telling. I would be one of the. I would
You
be one of
call
the
me
ones
talking
to rat her
crazy,
out.
your son will know your ways. I wasn't even raised to go toe to toe with my elders. Be so for real.
The
I
ones
might
I
call
would
my
go to
mama, and she
I
might got
would
to get
kill
with
you.
you.
Let me tell you how little I would go toe to toe with you. You would have all that energy. It would be like I disappeared out of the room. I'm not doing it.
No, it's appropriate. Your son should be navigating whatever that is with their parent. Then she talks about waist beads and all
Oh
that.
yeah, she like, oh yeah, you got to come with me to Ghana. I said, and Edmund is pretty well traveled. I think where we remember him talking
Hmm.
about his traveling. So I'm like, okay, they got that going for them. She said she's gonna teach
Hmm.
Edmund how to do the beads because technically that's what
Hmm.
waist beads. Anyway, she said something like, "You'll be surprised how easy it is to make a man happy," and then I think she starts to cry. I don't know.
Hmm.
It just made sense that Edmund is the way that he is when we met his mom. That's
There's
all.
a lot of crying, a lot of
Yeah.
tears, and yeah.
Personality, like just quirkiness and personality.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's talk about not Josh, Jordan and Matt. It's a
Jordan,
lot of J names.
Joe,
Or is it just
Jordan.
two?
Yeah.
Just two. Okay.
Okay.
It's a lot of M names. Madison,
Megan,
Megan.
Madison,
Okay, it's just never mind. It's just two
Allie,
of
and
each.
Anthony. There's two of each letter, kind of.
And then they're together, like Joe and
Mm-hmm.
Madison, Jordan and Megan.
Mm-hmm.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Jordan and Megan. So they go to his apartment or his home.
Yeah, he has an apartment. His setup is his son has the bedroom. He has the living room. I was just like, is that a full bed in there? Or like, do you roll it up when people come visit, or
In the
does
living
everyone
room,
just sit
right?
on your bed?
Because it did kind of look like a bedroom.
Full bed, yeah. But you got to do what you have to do. So, is this the scene? No, that's the next one.
Okay. So he
Yeah.
has a Roomba, we see that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, she talks about, yeah, I might talk to my realtor about a space that's more suitable for all three of us, but this is nice. I said she did a very good job not being like, oh, look at your little house or your little apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then she talks about how he has no food in the fridge. But I don't know that why that's surprising. Wasn't he away for several weeks? So
Yeah,
I
most
wasn't
people come
expecting.
home and it's empty, but you would
I empty
expect
it before I
prices.
leave. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back to spoiled food. So anyway, Luca's room makes her cry.
Mm. Yeah.
It
It's
sometimes feels like she wants Luca more than Jordan.
And it's reinforced, I feel like, when they go meet with her mom and sister. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like a lot of pressure. Maybe Jordan's not feeling it, but to me, there's too much of a correlation between Luca and the dad, God and the universe ordaining this.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Like it's a part of her grief process, and I really like resonate with her with the whole dad thing, having lost a parent. So I have a lot of sympathy there,
Mhm.
and I know that there are things that you can just grasp onto because you just need something to grasp onto to help you through all the things that you're feeling for years and years after. And so I just hope this isn't it for her.
Oh yeah, because it's also a crazy process too.
It is.
Like Jordan is going to have to make the right decision for not just him, but him and his son. That may mean that y'all aren't together. So then what? I don't know. So they meet with her mom and sister. It's the anniversary of the dad's passing. They're very emotional about it. They talk about how Luca won't be coming to live with them in this process, which makes sense to me. I
Very.
think they should meet, but not him being on camera.
And then not him being in the house,
Yeah.
which I just wanted, because I alluded to it earlier. I understand why that makes her hesitant, just because
Hmm.
she won't be able to get a feel for the routine before she says
Hmm.
yes, and she doesn't know what she's saying yes
Yes. Too.
to. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
is on top of an already risky process. It's just yet
Hmm.
another huge risk that she would be taking with this process.
Yeah. And I will say, because he's 5, there will be challenges, but he is growing into being a bigger kid.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, it is going to be a shock even for her. As
Yeah.
much as his parents are involved in his life, just being in the home with a child and coming from being single is a huge change.
Yeah.
Like you're jumping into a 5-year-old and not, having that time to grow in spurts.
He's
You
there
know.
quite a bit. Like he said, they're pretty 50-50, which I think
Hmm.
is a beautiful arrangement. Um, so yeah, it's just going to be a lot for her on top of settling into a new home, on top of a new relationship, and then that relationship being a marriage. And
Also, something that her mom said
Mhm.
was that Jordan is very different than the men that she would usually go for, and that a lot of these other guys may have had a lot of money and means, but maybe didn't cater to her or give her the love and attention that she needed, and that she can see why Jordan would be a good fit for her. Um, and I could see that being a good thing. I just think because of this crazy process, it's like, okay, this is your first time like swinging kind of like, from one end to the other in terms of the type of partner that you're used to being with. I don't know. And
Yeah.
it involves a child. So,
Is it just me, or did this take longer than than we expected? Because we're still episode
oh
8, but
yeah, we still
episode
got to get
9
to
going a
episode
lot.
9.
Okay, I just wanted to say I really liked her outfit. The blue dress that she had on, I thought was really cute. She
Mm-hmm.
talked about that morning and, just trying to figure out how to let a partner help you throughout a loss, and him trying to figure out how to help her throughout a loss, but also having his own things. And, they talked about how she needs that reassurance and affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I thought her mom was very pleasant, and so was her sister.
Mm-hmm.
uh, she shared that how in previous relationships she wouldn't be as open to share her emotions, and she feels comfortable doing that here. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
Right.
All
You
right,
want to jump to
episode
episode
9.
9?
Yes.
Okay. So we
Okay.
can kind of quickly get through the separate
The
couples and
couples.
then get to the meetup.
Okay, so Megan and Jordan, he's making a smoothie with chicken. I
And
said, why is he
Crystal Light.
consuming that? Yeah, she was
Him is one thing. She actually tasted it.
right. She was a trooper for even, because the way I would not. First of all, I don't like my smoothies unless they're like super sweet. Like put some pineapple in there, some strawberries. Don't give me none of that protein powder stuff.
He's extreme because he could have if you really want like clean protein, you don't want the chemicals, you could at least do egg whites, a whole chicken breast.
And
Okay.
you, anyway, I guess it wouldn't be seasoned if it's in a smoothie, but
He said he baked it,
I thought he said he boiled it. Either
boiled it,
way,
baked it. It looked.
it had no seasoning on it.
Why not just eat the chicken breast?
Anyway, they talked about financing. Oh yeah, they went and looked at a house,
Oh yeah, the house. Yeah, so Megan says that, her budget is 1.5 to $2 million. They
which
go see
Jordan
this,
was just hearing for the first time.
right. And that her potential plan could be she takes the equity from her home in LA, puts it in this house, and then they could go half on a $500,000 loan. Girl, you're making a lot of assumptions, or maybe you know more than we do. But he looked to be surprised.
And like just based on where we live in the world, I'm like a 250. Like, would he have bought himself a $250,000 home? I don't know. Like,
I
so
mean, nowadays it's hard to find, I think, definitely in Denver, that would probably be a
oh
stretch, but
yeah, but I'm saying based
um
on like where we are, I just
yeah,
think it was bold of her to maybe assume that
him coming from an
an
apartment, yeah.
apartment. Yeah, he would
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, 250,000. That's nothing. Like,
And even that whole setup, I'm like, that sounds very complicated. You're taking all of your equity to technically, and plus an additional loan. So then, like, God forbid y'all split up. Like, what does that even look like in terms of equity on the new house that you made? It's not, are you splitting it? Like,
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Megan is concerned. I don't
That's
think Megan is
crazy.
concerned, especially, I'm sure she would have worked out some details that would go in her favor, seeing that she
Yeah.
would be putting the down payment on the home and then also assuming like half of whatever mortgage. So
Hmm.
I think Megan will make sure she comes out on top.
Would have to.
Yeah.
He looked surprised, a bit speechless, and
Yeah.
he ultimately says he felt like it was a bit too much home for
Hmm.
them.
But it was too much home and then not enough because they have a child. That backyard was not giving.
Yeah, I think when he said too much home, I think he meant space, but also price.
No, for
Like,
sure. But
like you're,
I don't know why the backyard just caught me, because I'm like, it was just very underwhelming for a home with
yeah,
a child. Um,
yeah. I don't know what area of town. Like some areas you don't get a big lot, but because it's in a great location, it's super
it's high.
expensive. So I don't know. I just feel like their lifestyles are on one extreme to the other. And so it would just be interesting to see if they're able to navigate that moving forward. Yeah. So,
It's not impossible, but you know.
yeah. Yeah, he says specifically he doesn't want to bring her lifestyle down, but he's not a mooch. He wants to make it clear, I'm not looking to live off her.
Yeah.
Um,
All
so,
right. So Allie and Anton, let's just get them
oh,
out of the way. We don't see any conversation happen about
mm,
this big
mm,
thing, which
mm,
upsets me because I'm like, okay, why drop this big issue if we're not even going to hear them talk about it? So that was a little bit disappointing.
mm-hmm.
All right, but that's all that I have on them. And
Okay.
then Annie and Nick, do you have things
Yeah,
on
so
them?
he's helping her with some handy stuff at her salon. And then his dad, mom, and brother come over. And
Mm-hmm.
my big takeaway is they're just happy that he has someone.
Yeah, because they asked like, oh, what were the things? And she's like, oh, we're aligned on watches, and we both like being outdoors, and we're both business owners. It's like, okay, I
Annie, just
I
say you want a husband. And
I
that,
probably have so much in common with random strangers walking down the street. Like if this is what we're doing.
but in that conversation, it's where Nick's mom shares that he's a problem solver and you may not always know all of his emotions and feelings. And so that's where I was like, are we getting the full picture of him, or is he just in, I'm on TV, my image, and I'm going to navigate this in the best way, publicly
Yeah.
possible? So,
I think that's a huge possibility. And you know what? Fine for him. Like, like okay, so you're not the one who's running around acting crazy, screaming and all the things. Good for
yeah.
you. You can walk
And
away and people still don't know who you are.
and given the way Annie responded to him, just slightly saying, "Hey, we may face challenges." Wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear much from him going forward. Him and Joe.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
mhm.
And then Calabria and Edmund, he gets her some skates that are overnight, which I thought was really cute.
He's very
Like
thoughtful. Yeah.
he
Yeah,
is.
he's
Okay.
thoughtful. A gift giver.
The meetup.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we found out at the meetup that Megan had met Luca's mom and there was
They
nothing
went
to worry
fine.
about. She was cool. They were
Mm-hmm.
fine. And like any decent parent, she's just concerned about him not being on this TV
Mm-hmm.
show, which makes perfect sense. All right. Allie said that they haven't met any of each other's family members.
Right. And like a lot of times if they do pick the friends to come on camera, later we'll find out like, oh, but I did meet family at some point. Yeah,
Yeah.
she confirmed neither side has met each other. Like she hasn't met his family and he
Hmm.
hasn't met her family. So,
Okay. And then she talks about how he drinks a beer every morning or like one or two every morning, which if that's not what she wants, that's not what she wants.
yeah. Mm,
And I think that that's
I
okay.
think that's fine.
And
And
that's what
that's
he needs
a
to do.
I
That's what
think
he needs to do.
alcohol consumption or not or whatever that
Yeah.
is, I think you should be aligned with your partner. Not that it has to be equal. One person could not drink, one person could, that's fine. But more so that you're
You're okay
okay
with it.
with whatever it
Yeah.
is. Because some people wouldn't have a problem with it because his schedule is opposite. And for her, she was like, I don't want to be smelling your beer breath for first thing in the morning.
Yeah. All right. And then we see Patrick come in. And he says what we all know, like Casey was giving him excuses. She didn't want to give him the ring back. She said, well, let's just tell everybody we're broken up.
Do you know
Girl.
if they buy their own rings? Because I was confused.
About why she wouldn't get, yeah. About why he would want the ring back. But then,
Well, yeah, if the show provides them the ring,
but
what
he
is
could get money from it. The
but yeah,
same
he
thing
could.
happened some seasons ago with Marshall and Jackie. I don't think you
Mhm,
watched that season, but it's the
mm-mm,
Seattle and Portland season
mm,
where I mean we have the most number of successful couples and they're still married to this day.
mhm.
But yeah, there was a similar situation. So I guess the woman doesn't have to give the ring back to the man, but I think
Mm,
the show is the one that
provides
purchases
it.
it for
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
Mhm.
So I thought
So
it was.
really,
Mhm.
really quick, I don't know if you're gonna cover this, but Annie in a confessional scene is like
That was exactly
expecting
where I was
that.
going.
Okay, we
Oh,
here.
go ahead. Go ahead.
So she expects that Brendan is supposed to still be trying to win her over. Don't
Still
you have
trying
a
to win
whole
you over in
fiance?
the pot.
So you think now that he's seen you, that was supposed to do it, and you have a whole fiance?
Girl, she said, yeah, the energy he's conveying isn't showing that I was his top priority. Girl, y'all aren't together and you're with someone else. What is he supposed to do? Try to steal you from your man? Be very for real.
She's delusional.
Very much
And
so.
you
Like,
say you're so sure there's no red flags, there's nothing wrong, nothing can keep you from saying yes to Nick.
it's the way you're looking up nothing.
Like, why are you worried about Brendan? Girl,
Pressed. Anyway, so yeah, that I thought was hilarious. Megan and Mike, they have a conversation. He apologized for that time where he wanted to leave early. You know why? I think he brought that up not as a way of apologizing, but as a way of distancing himself and showing that he wasn't as sprung as he was in the pods. Like, oh, remember that time that I wanted
mm-hmm,
to leave you early? Now, of course, that could be reaching. Once you see somebody in a negative light, I think
mm-hmm.
that's what you're determined to see them as. But I don't think for a second he was like, oh yeah, I have to apologize for you. He's talking about I would have gotten you the emerald cut. If they didn't have any to choose from, how were you gonna get it? You would have
He
had
just
to get
wants to
it.
one up, wants to win. That's all it was, to show that he's better than Jordan.
He said he was tempted to DM her, and she was like, "Yeah, thanks for not doing that."
She stands by her decision,
I
and I
do like
think,
how decisive
a-
she is. I
yeah, out
do.
of the two, I agree.
Yeah.
And his cockiness and his energy was what she was used to, and it was off-putting to her. And he wasn't gonna fawn over her.
Yeah.
Just wasn't
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Absolutely not. Okay. And then we have this conversation with Patrick and Anna. What are your thoughts on this? Because I'm usually team Anna.
Okay, so I just want to say that after she left, and I was like, she was his number one.
Yeah.
He agrees. I
Mm-hmm.
was going to pick you. Casey
Yeah.
was a second pick, but it
Mm-hmm.
was always going to be you, because I think a part of him was convinced after that last conversation they had where she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we really could work. It would be different, but it could work." And so she says, that she felt bad, that she was scared, but then she's like, "You can't put it all on me because you ended up picking somebody else anyway. So you couldn't have been all that into me." What? Girl, don't deflect. You leaving this man without a conversation is the topic at hand.
On you.
And
You.
Anna, of all the things to run from accountability for, when you've also said that you've ghosted people before.
Yeah. Yeah, like how dare you continue with the process because I decide to remove myself, even though we're all here for this process and we're supposed to see it to the end, whatever that means for us.
She almost had this attitude of, yeah, because I decided I couldn't take it and I wanted to leave, then you should have left with nobody
Left
too.
with me. Right. Girl,
But
what?
she also had another connection with Blake. Blake
Hmm.
was neck and neck with Patrick at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Like, and that's just what happens in real life. If someone else has decided to remove themselves from your life and from the situation with you, what are you
Hmm.
supposed to do? You have to move forward. And if your paths cross again, great. If not, that's life.
You know, even if she had stayed though, I still don't think neither one of them were ready for an Asian love story.
Especially not at the altar. Like he said, he thinks she would have said no at the altar. And I
Hmm.
agree.
Yeah,
I
they
agree.
wasn't ready. So,
Yeah. All right. So then there's a side conversation happening where Annie says something about, oh yeah, even though I know he's not perfect, I still think he's perfect. And Edmund says,
And I took that in a joking tone. I don't know.
what Annie said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, ew. Oh,
Like,
you know how
obviously
people be like,
not
"Oh, you're
perfect.
perfect." It's like we
Yeah.
know you're not perfect,
And
but
so Edmund said, even though we all know that's not true, like, it's really
mm-hmm.
nice to, it would be great to hear that. Here
Mm-hmm.
comes
Yeah, which is
Calabria.
true. She come out of nowhere. What you
Huh.
said?
What
What?
would be nice to hear? What? What do you want to hear? Would you say, I'm not saying you're perfect?
And for me, this is where I get like chaperone, parent, child. Why are you coming clear out of nowhere, inserting yourself in this
To
conversation?
reprimand me for this. Now, granted, apparently there is an issue with her complimenting him in the relationship, but he may or may not have even been thinking about it. He was just speaking to this couple and addressing what they were saying.
And if she had been a part of the full conversation, it wasn't a serious conversation,
It
in
was
my
not.
opinion.
So then they go. Then she asks him, "Were you trying to say that I don't say nice things to you, and you don't hear enough compliments? Admire, don't compare." What did she say?
Oh
Admire,
yeah, and this is the
admire,
second or
don't
third time
compare.
she said
And he's
that.
like, "I'm not comparing. It wasn't even that deep." And
Mm-mm.
so
To
she
me, he was
asked,
admiring in that context,
"Yeah,
but
yeah."
she missed it because she wasn't a part of the conversation.
And so after she asks him, and he says, "Well, yeah, I don't hear enough positive stuff." She's like,
Yeah, it
"Why
would
would you
be.
bring
Yeah.
that to me here? Because you asked me." Oh my God. Girl, what? You brought it up. You're the one who wouldn't drop it.
And I will say something I've seen is when Edmund is like, no, I don't want to talk about this right now.
He
There's
has
been
to.
a few times where she's pressed it. Even when he
Hmm.
was crying in the bed about not having sex, whatever. She pressed it with him.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
no,
yeah.
but we're gonna talk about it. Oh no. And me, I'm the type of person where I don't always like being bullied or pushed into a conversation if I just don't
Yeah.
want to have it right then. Like, let me gather my emotions and thoughts, or maybe
Mm.
I just don't want to talk about it right now. I'm not saying we wait a week, but why does it
Right.
have to be on your time?
Mm-hmm,
No,
mm-hmm.
it's giving parent child. We gonna talk about this right
Right now. Yeah. And so I think her demeanor for me gave that she was punking him a little bit. And I didn't
Oh, it's
appreciate
definitely a
that.
check.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
check. She was
I didn't
checking.
appreciate that. She was just being overly direct and matter of fact with him and a little bit blunt. And
And the way
because
she's like stomping around and like, oh, I'm gonna go sit over here. And then he tries to
causing a
come back and
scene.
talk to her. And then this is where I'm like, okay, Calibria, you're educated in a certain way.
Yeah.
You can maybe you have the full scope of what's going on with him and maybe his inability of managing his feelings and emotions. I'm not saying that she should never express how she feels, but if she sees herself as up here in terms of maybe her emotional
Intelligent.
maturity,
Yeah.
why not use that?
Because no matter how trained you are in in relationships, like it's just hard to make that translate into reality, I think. But I get him coming over and being like, I love you so much. I also would find that annoying. Like, don't try to butter me up. Like, let's address what's going on. I get it, but I think the big thing is that he's trying and she was talking down to him. Like, grow up, be an adult and come and talk to me about stuff. Okay, so he brought up the issue. You didn't want to hear it. You
He
said,
didn't
why would he
like the
bring it to you
response.
there? You didn't like the response. He's coming to you. And for me, I think a person who comes and tries to resolve an argument, I think that's such an admirable quality. I think that's a leadership quality that maybe men should have more of. It's like trying to resolve an issue. So he's done that. It might not have looked exactly how you want it to look, but don't question whether or not he's an adult. You've huffed and puffed your way to this seat. This man, despite, I'm sure people could hear you talking to him in a
Mhm.
way,
Oh yeah.
he's still drags himself over to you to try to resolve things. Don't come. That is adult enough. And honestly, oh, you think I'm a child? I'll show you a child.
Hmm.
He's better than me because okay, now we're going back to the sandbox.
And even him saying, like, hey, I love you, I care about you, I don't even take that as buttering up as much as
Mm.
if you are going to come in and criticize someone, it may not always be a bad thing to address something positive about you, the relationship, them, or whatever it is. Segue into, hey, but this is what disappoints me or hurts my feelings, or I didn't like how you responded to me. But just know I'm still in this relationship with you and I love you and I care about you. So I see in the moment she's hot and is like, don't come at me with all that positive energy. At the same time, Calabria, this is on you because you went and stuck your nose in a conversation that didn't have
Has
nothing to do
nothing
with
to
you. So
do with you.
from that point on,
Yeah.
okay.
And maybe not even like butter her up, but I can get like, okay, we're in an argument right now. Like, I hear what she's saying when she says, come to me with a solution, come to me addressing the thing. It's not about compliment. Like, okay, I get it. I'm beautiful. I get it. You love
Mhm.
me. But if you're going to come to me, come with like something related to this. So I get what she was saying, but I also think she just is not recognizing how much courage it takes to come to your heated stranger fiance in a public setting where they've already chewed you out. Like,
You already
I didn't,
said that this man wasn't acting like an adult.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you got two before he came up to you, you had a couple strikes.
And then I felt a little bad for him. He was like, I might die tonight. It was dramatic, but I was just like, I hope she hasn't displayed anger in such a way that he really feels like she would harm him. So I
Yeah,
didn't
I
take
took
it
it.
seriously.
You know how like
But
sometimes black people we use like dramatic language.
that's what I thought it was. But
Yeah,
just in
like
case
yeah,
something comes
not
out in a few weeks saying that.
yeah, we can use dramatic language, wherein, out of context, but we know like that's not what you actually
Yeah.
mean. So,
Okay. And then I think the other thing that happens is that Nick apologizes to
mhm.
Kate, for not being more direct, which whether it's an act or not, I think that was the appropriate way of handling it. Listen, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
It was, but he's full of it.
He's aware. Yeah.
Okay, you're
Anyway,
being nice. Okay.
I thought Annie was a bit childish for ignoring him after the conversation with Kate. Are you serious right now?
Couldn't have
Like
been
he's
me.
talking to you and you're literally acting like you can't hear him. The whole world can hear him.
And this is where, like, for some of the things that the women are doing, if it were in the reverse, I'm talking about some of like these catty behaviors.
Hmm.
Okay, you would be big mad and in your feelings.
And rightfully so. And the men should be big mad. I'm in my feelings for for Nick. See, the thing is, Nick might be awful. We don't know yet, but because everybody else keeps picking on him, it's making him seem like
Yeah,
the
even
underdog.
Joe. Joe, what's going on with you with Nick? Why you don't like him?
Y'all let us know in the comments what do y'all think? What do y'all think Joe's beef with Nick is? Because I don't. Mm.
Well,
Let us know what y'all think. But he's
mhm.
going in on him. He talks about how Brendan. Maybe I'm not understanding guy code, but do men sit around and talk about their friends sexually in this way, like comparing them in that way? I think it was very weird for him to be like, oh, Brendan would probably be better in the bedroom than Nick. Nick is just plain. Pretty much they were saying Nick is vanilla, but at least Brendan would be. And he like gave specific things that Brendan would do. I mean, just is this normal? Denver, come to the front. Is
What
this
is going
normal in
on?
in the Denver streets? Please tell us. I think Joe and Jordan together is the worst possible combination.
Play too damn much.
Yeah, but Jordan learned because he was like, okay, relax a little bit. He's like, I'm not about to get in trouble with Megan again.
And I will say, after you said that, it made me think about I think Jordan does know when to be serious. I think when
Yeah,
he's with his bros, he's on the whole
he's just hanging
that type
out.
of
Yeah.
energy. Yeah, but I do get he is serious. He's a dad. Like he understands a time and a place. It just may not always match up to when Megan
Megan wants.
wants it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right, and then I guess we could end with two things.
mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm reading my notes and I said Nick could be whack, lame, or whatever, but I've never heard him speak on Joe. So all this hate about, not my guy, great hat though, and I'm like, again, or is it just that you've had so much to drink that you are like just
yeah,
ragging on
maybe they
him?
had an interaction off camera, but
Yeah, we don't know
something
about.
about Nick tells me he wasn't going to give Joe too much energy anyways.
Not on television.
Not when the cameras are rolling.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
Madison again. So she's talking to Kate, and she's like, yeah, girl, physically, Joe is fantastic. He's like, I want to get you pregnant. Okay. Nobody asked for that. Nobody.
That's all she has to lean on though.
And that's sad
That's all it is. Nobody else is talking about their intimacy
to
like
that
that.
extent. Yeah. All right. And then the
Hmm.
last thing we see, which hopefully we'll start the new episode with this, is Anton and Allie are talking, and he's saying to her, people have been trying to get information out of me, and I'm just telling them, oh, we're fine, we're fine. What have you been telling people? And she's like, the truth.
Hmm.
I've been telling them what it is. So we'll see
But
what
what
happens.
conversations have they had together
Hmm.
about his partying ways and the
Yeah.
drinking and expectations in terms of lifestyle? We don't know, Netflix.
Is there anybody who you think won't make it to the altar?
Mm, won't make it to the altar.
Hmm.
I feel like we could expect all of them to show up to the altar.
Oh.
I think
I
we
don't think
could.
Allie and Anton are making it to the altar.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them in any. You can kind of tell what the bodies look
Yeah,
like.
but I can't remember.
Have I seen her in a wedding dress?
Yeah, I don't think they're
Mm,
making it. I think just it's too much of a lifestyle difference.
mm.
I don't
That or
see.
she finds out something else pretty dramatic that she's like, get me out of here.
Yeah, because 4 months ago was not a long time.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so yeah, I don't think they make it. And Joe
I
and
haven't seen
Madison
Joe and Madison. I could see them not making it.
to the
But
altar.
Katie and Edmund, I haven't seen any B-roll of them at
I
the
have
altar
seen her in a
either.
wedding dress though, because
Oh,
that her picture is the when
oh,
I
it
go to
is.
Netflix, her in a wedding dress
Oh,
is. Oh, and I have seen him dressed up for their wedding.
oh, you
I
have?
have.
Okay.
I have. Because he has
Okay.
on a paisley type shirt. And
I
true
know
Edmund
I know
fashion.
Megan and Jordan will make it to the altar because
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
think
I've
they
seen
will.
her in a
And
dress.
Nick will probably make it to the altar, and hopefully one of
Of
them says
course.
no. Probably Nick.
Yeah, Nick will probably say no.
Or they're married now. Who knows?
Ciao.
Well, all right. Y'all, let us know your predictions. Who's going to make it to the altar? Who's not going to
Yeah.
make it to the altar? And we will see you guys later on this week, maybe
Yeah.
for. Yeah. All right. Until
Alright.
next time. Bye.
Bye.